Great night in the Meadowlands of New Jersey, MetLife Stadium. The Patriots and the Giants, the Super Bowl combatants. Not that long ago, 6 months ago, when the Giants prevailed 21-17 at Indianapolis. Patriots will return the ball to start the game. There's Tom Coughlin, former head coach at BC. Guy who has coached 2 Super Bowl winners with the Giants, and Bill Belichick, who's coached 3 with the Patriots. Of course, he has a long history here, Randy, with the Giants. 12 years with the Giants as an assistant. Their first 2 Super Bowl winners he was defensive coordinator of.
And everything, as it usually happens here in the Meadowlands, everything running exactly on time, just like you're back in Foxborough.
Lawrence Tynes ready to kick it off for the Giants. Hits it high. Jeff Demps, the Olympic sprinter, has the ball. And good coverage has him as Justin Tryon was down to make the tackle, number 30. So here comes Ryan Mallett in his second year from Arkansas. Has his first full year in the Patriot system. Of course, he came in last year as the number 3 draft choice, 3rd round draft choice. A lot of people, and many believe the Patriots, had him rated the number 1 quarterback in the draft. Quick hitter, Brandon Bolden, rookie back from Ole Miss. Free agent, takes it straight ahead, gets to the 22. Tonight's starting lineups are brought to you by Gillette, the official shave of the New England Patriots. See a lot of new people on the offensive line. It's good to see Sebastian Vollmer there, Randy, at right tackle.
Right tackle 76. That's the guy to concentrate on.
Hard thrown ball and a good catch coming out of the backfield. Coming down with the ball is Eric Catani. Excuse me, it's Eric Catani who makes the play, and it will now be 3rd down and a long 3.
Now this is the Giants' specialty, whether it's the starters, the backups, they draft D linemen that know how to go after quarterbacks.
That's the strength of this Giant team, the pass rush. They call it the NASCAR rush when they put 4 defensive ends in. Almost a pick, jumping the route, as the ball was intended for Brandon Bolden.
Well, excellent protection against that Giants pass rush. Ryan Mallett sits in the pocket and gets treated to that classic U type of a rush. The ends go up top, the tackles stay in front of him. You have to think that was a pass. He'll be told later on that Jaquan Williams had a chance to intercept. He should never have thrown that. He was sitting all over that ball.
He really was. He jumped the route, and here's Mesko hitting the punt downfield as the Patriots offense goes 3 and out. Jernigan, terrific special teams coverage. Malcolm Williams makes the stop. 55-yard punt, 6-yard return, and now let's meet the Patriots on defense. Tonight's starting lineups are brought to you by Gillette, the official shave of the New England Patriots. Across the front, Trevor Scott, Ron Brace, Dedrick, and Cunningham.
And they're going to see Eli Manning in the better part of the starting Giants offense to start this game for about 10-15 snaps.
Manning now in his 9th year from Ole Miss. He was the number 1 pick in the draft when he came out by San Diego back in 04. Came to the Giants in a trade. Swings to his tight end, Bear Pasco. He's to the 32, gain of 5, 2nd and 5. Rasai Dowling was on the stop for the Patriots.
You're going to want to see that a lot more out of these Patriot cornerbacks. Rasai Dowling does a nice job feeding off his receiver, sees the receiver in the flat, and fills up, makes a very sure tackle. That's a way to wrap your arms. You can't get him down, especially a guy that big. Hold on until help comes.
You get him down, and now on 2nd down and 5, Manning under center. David Wilson, first-year runner from Virginia Tech, drafted in the 1st round. He's been coming on. Built low, not big. 5'9", 205, but very shifty as we look at the starting lineups on offense, brought to you by Gillette. Manning, like Tom Brady of the Patriots, a two-time Super Bowl MVP. Hakeem Nicks in the lineup. He's been out with a bad foot, injured last May. Very important part of the Giants. Caught 76 for 1,200 yards last year.
And Nick's the only wide receiver right now in the game. 3 tight ends.
3rd and 1. Toss pitch. Great tackling by the Patriots. Wilson tries to plant and cut upfield, and he's taken under.
Nico Kudavides does a nice job, but it's set up by Ron Brace. Defensive tackle coming from the inside, penetrating, nowhere to go. You can't cut back. You have to put it up the field. That's a beautiful, beautiful job of filling up and tackling, also by Mike Rivera, the linebacker.
So now the Giants will punt. Both teams on their opening possession going 3 downs and out. Jeff Demps is back. From the 22. Demps put down moves, gets a return out close to the 33-yard line. As the tackler was the long snappers, Diassi. 44-yard punt and an 11-yard return. Patriots on offense a second time. For the Patriots is our Putnam performance in motion spotlight on him right now as you see what he's done so far in the preseason. 25 completions so far. He's had a very good outing at Tampa Bay last Friday night.
Well, it was a game where they were down 31-14 when he hit the field and scored those 2 touchdowns. Did some nice things, moving out of the pocket, buying himself some time, creating a little space for himself to throw some passes. And with sort of his development, his leaning up, not necessarily losing weight, but leaning up and working on his footwork, it really showed last week in some of those circumstances.
And he has a cannon arm. We asked him today when we met with him how far he's thrown the ball. He said in high school he threw 187 yards. He stopped taking those long distance throws though. It was weary out.
That's when he got smarter.
Right. Right now he goes to the run to Brandon Bolden. Giants are all over that, led by defensive tackle Linval Joseph, number 97.
When you're talking about a young quarterback like a Ryan Mallett, the arm is always something that people become obsessed with. But honestly, you think back to a quarterback that started off with a lot of noise and a lot of hoopla. And you think of a guy with a big, huge arm. And it's never really about the big, huge arm. It's about, can you throw the ball with touch, intermediate passes? Can you have the timing passes out there?
No question. It's not just velocity. And here's Mallett now. Goes out in the flat. Textbook tackling. Kitani gets the swing pass. And Antrell Roll was all over him. So Ryan Mallett, who transferred from Michigan to Arkansas, had over 3,000 yards passing each of his 2 years with the Razorbacks. He seemed really optimistic. He's much more confident in the huddle.
Well, he played in a pro-style offense for the Petrinos. So where he first started learning defenses the right way.
3rd down throw. Giants defended well. There's actually no gain on the play. Rocky Bernard, defensive tackle, saw it coming, makes the knockdown on Brandon Bolden, who's been the feature back in the Patriot offense so far tonight. Guy who had a great junior year at Ole Miss, but then injuries curtailed his senior season, wasn't drafted. Zoltan Mesko. Ready to punt for a second time. 2 possessions for the Patriots, no first downs. 1 possession for the Giants, no first down. Mesko booms a directional punt. Jernigan comes up on it, fields the ball at the 18-yard line, and the Giants will try again. 47-yard punt and no return. 2 really good kicking teams here tonight. At the hashtag AskRandy. Right now, there's a man tweeting. Rapid fire tweeting going on in the stands here at MetLife Stadium as the Giants are ready to go on offense a second time.
See a loyal Rutgers fan there with his Giant jersey. Blasting one out.
Eli Manning in his 9th year from Ole Miss. 6'4", 225 pounds, the younger brother of Peyton Manning, as you probably are well aware. Equally skilled, and here is Eli on a crossing pattern. He hits Nix, and the Patriots strike. Middle of the field, Randy's been a tough place tonight.
Well, it's worth mentioning, Patriots right now have a lot of backups in the game. Giants on both sides of the ball have their starting units, and so far we've seen 3 punts in this game, and Eli's had a little bit of pressure, and we've seen Brace and Dederick and company spend some time in this backfield.
Second down. Giants need 4. Toss pitch. Again, the Patriots hammer the run. David Wilson, the ball carrier. He was the first-round choice of the Giants. Says he prides himself on yards after contact.
Go to the ball, maintain those lanes. Everything from a design standpoint is done perfectly by the defense right there. And Kudavides comes over the top and makes himself another nice tackle.
Kudavides, he's been showing up in every play. Manning with a third down, IDing the middle backer. Working from the shotgun. Patriots get pressure. Beautifully timed throw. First down, Giants out to the 40-yard line. 15-yard gain on the play as the very popular Victor Cruz, who had a phenomenal year of street free agent from UMass. Last season caught 82 passes for over 1,500 yards. 9 TDs.
Yeah, working against Sterling Moore, and Sterling Moore gets that chance to make the tackle at first. Gets a whiff, throws a little air ball, comes back and gets himself a tackle, tries to rip that ball out.
So the Giants get a first down. Go back to the run. Banging into people is David Wilson again. Given their first-round pick a lot of work. He's out of Virginia Tech. Had 5 carries, almost 10 yards a carry his last time out against Chicago. Both these teams are 1-2 in the preseason.
You mentioned David Wilson, not a real big running back, but you know, if you're Matt Patricia, the defensive coordinator, you just saw that so-called smaller running back get hit on the 41, and he ended up going all the way to the 45 with that run.
Yeah, he talks about those yards after contact. He got him there. On 2nd and 5, Manning steps up. Lofts a ball errantly, incomplete at the 35-yard line of New England. So that'll bring up a second down, a 3rd down and 5 now at the 45-yard line.
The Patriots bring in their nickel personnel, try to get a little bit more pressure. I believe the only linebacker on the field right now is Carpenter in the middle, 59. More of a nickel backer than anything else.
Here comes the rush. Come with 5, a big blitz, tremendously well executed. As Manning is swept under way back at his 29-yard line. They're going to spot contact at the 31.
Yeah, Jermaine Cunningham just drove right through Mitch Petrus. Petrus lines up at the right tackle position, or right guard position, I believe. It's a loss of 14 yards. Petrus only gets about half of them, and then Cunningham drives right through him into the quarterback and gets himself a 14-yard sack.
Cunningham's had a couple of big hits in the backfield this season. Here's a punt hit downfield. Steve Weatherford. Like Mesko of the Patriots, a very good directional punter. It's out at the 10-yard line, 59 yards.
If you're a D lineman, you want half a man on a pass rush. The guy's trying to pass protect. Perfect job by Cunningham, finding half of a big man and driving back into a quarterback.
Only from Bank of America, name the 10 starting quarterbacks who have won multiple Super Bowls. There are 10.
Well, the first 2 are easy. They're here.
And I know you know one that isn't here. She played with him. Right now, here's a handoff. Good cutback run by Brandon Bolden. Big back with good change of pace, speed, change of direction, a 7-yard gain. Tom Brady, we know he's one. Quarterback 3. So far this preseason with Brady at quarterback, 11 possessions, 2 touchdowns, 2 turnovers, and he's taken a lot of hits.
Yeah, well, getting hit is part of the game. That's the first thing everyone will notice about that. But I'll tell you, you don't want to see too much of it in the preseason, that's for sure, Don. And he's been smacked around a little too much.
He has. Bolden again. Keith Rivers, a former #1 pick, 9th overall of Cincinnati, in at linebacker for the Giants. 55 was on the tackle. But you know, you look back, Randy, last year the Patriots were dismantled by the Lions in the 3rd preseason game. People thought the sky was falling. And they win 13 games in the regular season, go to the Super Bowl again. In the flat, the ball goes to Kerry Taylor, recently signed just this week.
Well, the thing about this offense, you know, with Brady at the helm, is they haven't had Wes Welker much. He really hasn't been featured. And you look at this offense from the standpoint of the whole starting unit, they haven't been together in a preseason game. Their first time together live action will be in game 1 against Tennessee.
Here's Bolden turning the corner, getting a first down and more. So the Patriots on successive downs get their first 2 first downs of the game.
Nice job by Silvestri. Watch on the end.
Rivers on another stop, 55.
And with backs like Ridley and like Bolden and Demps, you don't have to get a great block on the outside. You get a stalemate. That guy's not catching your back.
Here's Mallett with the long-range arm, hit as he fires. And that ball was up in the air. Ajomo coming on a rush. He's a rookie from the University of Miami. In the last 2 preseason games, Ajomo, 71, has 3 sacks.
Well, feel what Mallett does. He gets deep and he immediately feels the pressure and hops up. See, normally the quarterbacks that do that figure if I hop that step and a half up, that end's going to go around me. Ajomo did a very nice job of tightening the corner right into Mallett's grill.
Darian Weems was the tackle who was victimized. Now a false start is signaled against the Patriots. 3:47 to go in the first quarter and no score.
61 of the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
You talked about that matchup on the outside with Weems going against Ajomo. Now Ajomo got to be in his head a little bit. He'll be very conscious of the outside rush. This is when you give up the inside move.
That's where they went. They go inside, but not much. Joseph was on the tackle. Also on the play for the Giants was Chase Blackburn, middle backer.
Well, it's not good when at least it appears that the offense has moved, but at the same time the defense is already moving to exactly where you're running the ball. Good instincts by that defense up front, just sort of guessing what Josh McDaniels was going to call.
He calls run, and again it's Bolden getting a lot of work out to the 39-yard line. That was on 3rd and long. So the Patriots will punt again with 3:08 to play in the first quarter. Giants open a week from tonight against the Dallas Cowboys. They open the season. Patriots, of course, their first game at Nashville against the Tennessee Titans.
It's kind of a luxury for this football team to get to open on a Sunday afternoon at 1 o'clock without having to worry about night games or odd day games.
Yeah, the better we are, the fewer times you play Sunday at 1. Primetime attractions. Here is Mesko, another great punt. This former co-captain of Michigan. That's how good he was for the Wolverines. His teammates voted him a co-captain as a punter.
How about Sergio Brown covering that thing? As good as the kick was, Brown was right there in his business from the get-go.
Brown, who might be on the bubble.
How about breaking down and bringing it?
He was there as soon as the ball was there.
You make a really good football team. Is it always just because you're an excellent defensive back? Here's Exhibit A. And if Exhibit A is your hustle and your instinct, Exhibit B is your sure tackling. You do that, you're going to win yourself roster spots anywhere.
Third-year free agent from Notre Dame, Sergio Brown, speculated to be on the bubble. The Patriots haven't said that, but people who assess rosters say it. They just saw his stock rise as David Wilson carries for the Giants. Gets to the 15-yard line.
You know, Don, we were just talking about Sergio Brown bringing it and breaking down, getting himself that tackle. There was a great example right there. Razai Dowling came in from his cornerback position. He had the running back dead to rights in the backfield. He stopped his feet. As soon as he stopped his feet, that's when the running back made that cut inside and got the extra yards and avoided the loss.
Ended up getting almost 3. Manning checks down, goes to a wide receiver. Ramses Barden, a big wide receiver, 6'6", 224 pounds. 3 injury-plagued seasons, had a touchdown in his last game, his first as a New York Giant. That was against the Bears.
He's one of those great big receivers that played in a triple option style offense. Rich Ellerson had him out at Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. Giants drafted him knowing it would take a couple of years for him to really learn how to be a pro receiver.
So now Manning faced with another third down in this scoreless game, down to 1:13 to play in the first quarter. Wide rush comes. Manning lofts the ball downfield. Didn't have enough on it. The receiver had a step on the defense. That was Victor Cruz, who was a dangerous man out of the slot.
Oh, Victor Cruz was going to score a touchdown. That wasn't going to be a big play because he had 2 yards. And if Victor Cruz has 2 yards on you, he's leaving. Watch him come off this. There's his 2 yards, and that ball, if it's thrown into Victor Cruz's arms, they just watch his name on the back of his jersey go into the end zone.
But the ball is short, and a punt again as Weatherford booms one downfield. Jeff Demps. Doesn't take long for Jeff Demps to reel off yardage. He's out to the 41-yard line. That was a 52-yard punt and an 11-yard return. So with less than a minute to play in the first quarter, still no score. Is brought to you by Patriots Checking only from Bank of America. Once again, the question was, name the 10 starting quarterbacks who have won multiple Super Bowls. And the answer is Eli Manning, Ben Roethlisberger, Tom Brady, John Elway, Joe Montana. Jim Plunkett did that with the Raiders, not the Patriots. Terry Bradshaw, Bob Greasy, Troy Aikman, and Bart Starr. A select group, and now Mallett checks down nicely, goes to Bolden as he ran out of time. I think the experience is certainly evident there, Randy. Calmly checked down and got it to Cruz, crossing runner.
If there's one thing, too, that trivia question that all those players have in common, and I played with one of them who's unbelievable, Joe Montana, who was Tom Brady's idol growing up. It's how competitive they are. And I mean competitive as in, I don't care if you're playing cars, you're playing cards, you have spitting contests. They want to be first.
Well, they were certainly first in at least twice in the biggest of them all. Tom Brady's not in the game, but he was warming up in an unusual way today.
Yeah, and a little of this goes back to the competitive nature, because early on it's, hey, this is fun, guys. Then it's one-on-one with Gronk. He breaks up the pass and gets to talk a little smack. And
that's the end of the first quarter.
Now Gronk's got to play some D.
He turns Gronk inside out.
And he can't stop the veteran. And then the quarterback just kind of runs out of field.
Gronk is not in the business of covering receivers.
And he's not in the business of catching them.
That's the end of the first quarter. No score. We'll be back with more on the Patriots Preseason Television Network after these messages. Have to send out their punter again.
Yeah, what's called a broken play. Quarterback ball in hand to hand the ball to running back. No running back to hand ball to.
And Mesko ready to punt again. Jernigan back deep for the Giants, standing inside his 10-yard line. Man, wow, what a charge he put into that. And it takes a bounce the Patriots' way. Their special teamers down at the 8-yard line. So outstanding work by the Patriot punt team. A 50-yard punt, no return. Giants will try again. Back to the Meadowlands of New Jersey. Don Criqui with Randy Cross. No score after 1 quarter of play. Great punting effort by the Patriots. Ball downed inside the 10-yard line of the Giants. There's big Sebastian Vollmer, seeing his first action of the preseason. Had some back problems he's over.
He did some good work. Was only in for a couple series, but as all you baseball fans know, he was on a pitch count. And these top 5, these are the projected starters. These guys are the backups. And then make your count from there. Most teams go into the season with 1 tackle and then 1 interior lineman, maybe sometimes 2 interior guys.
Tonight's positional lineup is brought to you by Verizon, the official wireless and telecommunication provider of the New England Patriots. Okay, here we go, Randy. We'll see if the Giants can get out of this hole, starting at their own 8. Manning play faking over the middle of the field. He's on target. Ball is caught and lost. They're ruling it incomplete. Jeff Tarpinian on the ball. Martellus Bennett was their tight end, 85, who had it on his hands. Almost looked like he took a step with the ball.
Well, watch Dedrick, 71 inside. He does a nice job getting some pressure. It's a little end tackle game. He can tuck it away, it gets knocked out, so I guess he didn't complete the football move.
So that makes it 2nd down and 10, and the Patriots stop the run. 3rd and long. Jermaine Cunningham, who's had a very good offseason. He was lauded by his coach Bill Belichick, and he's had a good preseason. 3rd year now from Florida, making another play. Number 96.
Yeah, the key for Cunningham is he's got to be one of those terrifying tweeners. That guy, he's not quite an end, he's not quite a linebacker. And when you're that size, you better just strike fear into the heart of offenses.
He already has a big sack tonight. Here's Manning, arcing the ball downfield, and it's almost intercepted again. At the 25-yard line, Ebner had a play on the ball. Nate Ebner, the rookie from Ohio State. So the Patriot defensive Matt Patricia shuts down the Giants again.
Yeah, another nice play by a young guy, Francis, number 68, coming around on another stunt. He was the one that got there late and pressured Eli into forcing that ball in. Francis, the young defensive end, defensive tackle out of Rutgers.
Weatherford booms the ball.
A lot of yards.
Here's Demps as he crosses the 45. Gets to the 47. A 55-yard punt and a 10-yard return.
That's 3 returns, Don, and 31 yards in those returns for Demps so far.
Hannah, Andre Tippett, and last year's inductee Drew Bledsoe. Of course, Troy was the consummate team player and a fan favorite. Since the Patriots started allowing fans to vote for the Hall of Fame 5 years ago, Troy received the highest vote percentage of any nominee. The induction ceremony will be held just outside the hall at Patriot Place, presented by Raytheon, on Saturday, September 15th, the day before the Patriots' home opener against Arizona. Here's the throw. A tip ball live in the middle of the Giant defense. Nobody can come up with it. Bolden had a hand on it.
Yeah, it was Bolden that knocked it up in the air.
Troy Brown, 15 years in the NFL, every year a Patriot.
I know in Pittsburgh, they would have been just as happy if he'd have had a much shorter career with the Patriots. That one playoff game, that AFC Championship game in Pittsburgh, he gutted them a couple times on those returns.
Mallett with a good fake and a good throw on target inside the 45-yard line to Alex Silvestro. free agent tight end from nearby Rutgers.
Now here's something you don't always associate with a great big quarterback. You know, Mallett in that 6'6" range. Talk about being able to move around a little bit better because of the footwork, because of his attention to detail, and it's a skill of its own, being able to throw on the run, throw on the move, how you use your body.
He just did it very well. Now a handoff, and that'll bring the ball inside the 40-yard line. Now Randy will take a look at a Twitter question. Is Ryan Mallett the future replacement for Brady?
Boy, I've been asked that question a couple times over the last 10 years. It was going to be Castle for a while. It was going to be a lot of these guys. I think Mallett is the more recent nominee, but I think he's, more importantly, he could be one of the two quarterbacks they keep on this roster.
Bolden ruled caught the ball off the turf. Well, we do know this, that if he is Brady's replacement, Brady plans on it being about 7 years from now.
Yeah, somebody better tell Tom he's near the end, because he doesn't think so. He's going to try to play longer than Favre.
And he doesn't play so either.
And there's Brian Hoyer. He's got a little bit to say to it here in the second half. He'll have this football team. And right now, Mallett's performance, you know, and Brady could probably tell him when he comes off the field, I think he's a little stiff-legged. He's throwing that ball low into the ground to those running backs.
Here's Bolden going wide, and every quarterback that's been on a roster with Tom Brady has high praise for the amount of help he gives all of them as a mentor.
Yeah, and that flag right there will be help of another kind as you're trying to tackle somebody, helping him by the face
Personal
mask.
foul, face mask, 49 of the defense. It's a 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Don King is a referee.
Yeah, pretty obvious. Of course, the offensive player does it. It's not a penalty, but Don King, 49, gets in there and gets that right hand with a quick little tug. Watch it right there. The official's looking right at it as he goes to the ground.
On the run, Jeff Demps. First down carry. Patriots in scoring position. Short field goal range, but they're a long way from trying that. Matt Broha was on the stop.
Well, Jeff Demps may be known for his speed, but right now it's just kind of sleight of feet here. Out of bounds, nope, still up, still going. That was a very nice run by a not very big running back, just refusing to go down and buying himself another 5 yards.
Demps, of course, came back from the London Olympics with a silver medal as he ran in a qualifying heat for the 4x100 meter relay. Did not run in the finals when the U.S. finished second to Usain Bolt and the Jamaican team. If you're running in the Olympics and medaling, you're fast. Third down and short. Power set. They go to the fullback, and Katani drives at the Giants and gets down to the 10-yard line. First down.
Nobody knows that fullback type run better than a Navy fullback. Coming out of the short motion as a fullback, straight ahead. Gets some excellent blocking up front. A lot of good surface. When I say surface, the blockers are occupying the tacklers, and that enables a guy running low with power like Eric Katani to go by those initial waves of blockers.
Again, they take on the middle of the Giant defense with Brandon Bolden running the ball. Ojomo, very quick off the edge, comes across and makes the tackle. 4-yard gain on the play.
Yeah, but like you said, with these running backs, and it's a nice thing to see when you do see it, the going forward when you're tackled. You know, Ojomo makes the contact at the line of scrimmage, and that ends up being still a 2 or 3 yard run, despite the fact that he's hit right at the line of scrimmage.
Silvestro, the tight end, set left. Blocks, run straight ahead. And Brandon Bolden crashes straight ahead, and it be now 3rd down and goal. Brandon Bolden getting a lot of work here, Randy. 10 carries already tonight. 40 yards.
There's a lot of competition at that running back spot. You know, Ridley's a given. Demps may be a given because he can return. Everybody else is up for grabs.
This is the final phase. The competition to make the final 53 ends tonight. Again, they try power run inside. Again, they go to Bolden. Giants shut it down, and the field goal unit comes out.
Yeah, but on that tackle, stopping him right there was Mark Herzlich, the former All-American from Boston College linebacker. Does a really nice job. The initial charge is led inside by the defensive line, stuffing the offensive line. Then Herzlich comes along the outside, and as many BC fans have seen, makes a big play.
A 20-yard field goal. Herzlich, an inspiring story. ACC Defensive Player of the Year, as you mentioned, Randy, an All-American. Suffered from cancer. Cancer-free. Last year, he wasn't drafted. Came in as a free agent. He's been a terrific acquisition as Gostowski puts up the first points. Patriots All Access, Friday, September 7th at 7 p.m. on WBZ TV4. It's the only place where head coach Bill Belichick sits down to talk about the previous week's game. Plus, watch him break down the opponents on the Bellustrator. Outside of the Boston area, check your local listings around New England for the Emmy Award-winning Patriots All Access. So the Patriots, there's Steve Burton. You're watching Steve on some of these great shows involving the Patriots. Is right now Gostowski with the 20-yard field goal is ready to kick it off. DJ Ware and Dante Hughes are back. Dante Hughes for the Giants. He's taken down a win for the kick coverage there, Randy. It's inside the 20. Malcolm Williams led the tacklers for New England.
That's one of those kick returns. You know, when you're a kid and your parents tell you your eyes are bigger than your stomach when you take too much food, there's a chance where his eyes were faster than his feet because he saw a big old hole there in front of him. Needed his feet to accelerate. His mind was doing it. His feet just weren't cooperating.
David Carr is now in at quarterback for the Giants. He was the #1 pick in the entire draft out of Fresno State, picked by the Houston Texans in 2002. Back up to Eli Manning. Carr checks down, well executed to David Wilson, the rookie. A lot of hitting going on. Let's go down to Steve Burton. Steve?
All right, Don and Randy, you're talking about Patriots All Access, and it's a great show because every week we learn something new about a different player. These guys come in, love to open up, and talk about how they made it to the NFL. We always learn something. You learn something new on the Bellustrator. Bill Belichick is absolute genius when it comes to that, and Scott Zolak gets a chance to sit down and talk with him. It's a great show. We look forward to doing it every single week. Guys, back to you.
Okay, Steve. Right now we have a pitch back. Wilson, not a whole lot going on second and short, may have lost a yard.
It's another real nice job. Ehedebo comes up and just stuffs the running back. Gets that helmet right across the bow, wraps the arms up, and drills the running back down. Ehedebo coming there from a linebacker spot, basically comes in between the gap. That's how you do it. You love to see that out of those safeties, especially when you're running this style of defense. You need them versatile. They got to be able to hit and cover.
He just hit right now. A give and a stop again. All NFL teams are now down to 75 players, with the final cut coming in a couple of days. On Friday, they get down to the limit, the regular season roster of 53. But the truth is, every player of those 75 on every team is a good player. You can't even get into camp without being a good player. I mean, there's guys that'll make taxi squads that would start for a national championship team in college.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's just the reality is only about 1,600 people get to be an NFL player every year.
Here's Weatherford getting a roll inside the 25, inside the 20. Down to the 18 and a penalty markers fired in well after the ball was dead. 62-yard punt.
Yeah, that was a heck of a shot. Ross-I Dowling took. And on this matchup, Tavon Wilson just got ragdolled by Will Hill. It's pretty far away from the ball. What they're going to have to decide right now is it was definitely after possession or the ball had been kicked.
Will Hill of the Giants out of nearby St. Peter's Prep in Jersey City. He went to Florida. He was the #1 rated defensive player in the country coming out of high school. Had a checkered career with the Gators. Now getting a second chance. Living on the edge here. Bill Belichick is not happy. He thought it was. Let's see. Well, watch it again. Wants an explanation from referee Don King. Speculation now, Randy, is that there will not be regular officials on opening day. That the replacement officials will still be used.
Well, one of these guys has some splaining to do to Bill Belichick. Yeah,
We have fouls by both teams during the kick. We have illegal shift by the kicking team. After the kick,
get a little help from the side there.
and after the kick, we have a 15-yard penalty. Chosen to re-kick, 5-yard penalty.
Well, if you look at this replay, watch Tavon Wilson there, 27. He gets by, and then Ross-I Dowling just gets ragdolled for no particular reason away from the ball. That is a personal foul away from the ball.
Well, it's going to be 4th down now, and Weatherford of the Giants standing back by his goal line, ready to punt the ball. 3 points is it. Second quarter field goal, 20 yards out by Gostowski of the Patriots, the only scoring. And Don King, the referee, steps center stage again.
Trying to get the play clock back up. It's back up now to 25.
A correction on the reporting of the foul. Both teams were on the both fouls were on the kicking team. 5-yard penalty.
So the line of scrimmage at the 20. 4th down and 12 coming up.
Now, what do they say about New York? If you can make it there, you can make it anywhere. Well, if you kind of show some very key parts of your mistake repertoire, they won't forget that either. And we'll start the season with these replacement refs. And as we saw in Tampa last week, Don, this is a group that also averages somewhere in that 10-year range. So these aren't rookies.
No.
They're just not real experienced in the NFL game and the different ways of handling it.
Don King has 13 years experience as a college official, but they all talk about when you get to the NFL, the speed of the game is remarkable. Hard to adjust to for players and officials.
Well, one thing I'd be prepared for, both as a viewer, a fan, a player, and a coach, next week in week 1, I think the games are going to last about 10-12 minutes longer with the replacement officials, because you'll see a lot of this. They're not going to make mistakes just because they're hurrying. They're going to take the time to kind of conference and go over what they're trying to decide.
Which is absolutely the right thing to do.
Both fouls were committed by the kicking team. The first foul was an illegal shift by the kicking team. The second foul after the kick was a personal foul, face mask. When it forced the 5-yard penalty and re-kick.
So ready to resume now. Scott O'Brien, special teams coach for the Patriots, with a real good unit.
Well, I guess it's technically tackling by the helmet if you grab somebody by the back of the head and throw them on the ground. It's kind of like a face mask.
Yeah, of sorts.
You turn his head around far enough, it is.
Two returners now back, anticipating the punt. Weatherford, man, it's unbelievable, these NFL kickers, how far they can kick it. Brandon Bolin loses the ball, and saving the day is Jeff Demps. Demps came in and helped out his teammate, got the ball on the field and recovered it.
This is an example of a Demps. That's an innate ability. The good Lord gave him the ability to be Johnny on the spot.
With Randy Cross and Steve Burton, Don Crickey here as the Patriots holding to a 3-0 lead. That was a tremendous punt by Weatherford of the Giants, Randy, 64 yards and a -5 on the return after it was bobbled by Bolden and then recovered by Demps of the Patriots. 1st and 10. Here's Mallett against a blitz. Well-timed throw. Jesse Holley, who had that very, very nice touchdown catch in the back of the end zone of Tampa from Mallett, makes the catch.
You couldn't ask for a rougher place if you're a free agent trying to make a football team than at wide receiver on this team. You better be a highly impactful special teams player, not to mention a extremely talented receiver.
Nothing there. Bolden again gets the carry. Lead tackler was Dwayne Hendricks. Gary Taylor recently picked up, has 1 catch tonight. There is a guy that the Patriots have high hopes for a big year, Brandon Lloyd. Not playing tonight, but he's going to be a weapon. He's a deep guy. He'll get behind the safeties and go up and get it. Was a 7'2" high school high jumper. Mallett puts a strike on the hands of his receiver. Jesse Holley can't hold on.
That was actually a very nice pass by Holley. Holley was very well covered, and Mallett puts that ball on the back number where Holley can just turn around and get it. I mean, it's right there. It just gets on him so fast. It gets into his hands and it's gone before he has a chance. 4 punts so far from Mesco, 50 yards each on average.
Here is Ruben Randall coming up. Trying to field a directional punt that goes out of bounds inside the 40-yard line. The offense comes out for the Giants, and there is the guy who had the greatest tight end receiving numbers of any player in NFL history last season, Gronk.
Yeah, the fantasy fit. Also probably known as the cover boy after ESPN Magazine and Sports Illustrated, NFL 2012.
The full Gronkowski.
Now, he looks like a Gronkinator there. That's a scowl you don't see on the field too often out of Gronk.
Well, the combination of Gronkowski, Hernandez, and Welker, those 3 receivers, 291 catches for the Patriots last year.
He's still not obviously over Brady catching that touchdown on him earlier.
No beating in pre-games warm-ups.
How about Aaron Hernandez signed that 5-year extension this year, and first thing he does is donate $50,000 back to the Meyer Kraft Foundation. Class move by a guy that credited the Patriot way with really showing him the right way to be a pro.
It was a very generous, well-received gesture, and every Patriot teammate of his says it came from the heart. Nico Kuglovides with the stop. Patriots had their great gala the other night. The Ron Burton Award for Community Service went to Zoltan Mesco. Bob Kraft, owner of the Patriots, said Mesco is one of the best punters in football, but as community service goes, he's a league MVP. David Carr looking for something. Might have been over the line of scrimmage. Penalty marker comes in.
Yeah, Jermaine Cunningham ended up on the ground, partially by a block and partially by a hold.
Holding. 60 of the offense. It's a 10-yard penalty. We play third down.
Selvish Capers called for the foul.
Correction, penalty declined. Brings up fourth down.
There's Jermaine right there. Watch Cunningham. He gets whacked, but then on the way to getting whacked, he basically gets tackled. Hands on the outside. They called that holding penalty on Selfish Capers. Boy, Giants 1 for 7 on third down.
Yeah, they've not been converting in this 3-0 Patriot game. Hunt caroms into the end zone for a touchback. Jeff Demps was back, and it'll come out to the 20-yard line. Patriots go on offense there with 3:10 to play in the first half. Here's the gala the other night. Bob Kraft, Bill Belichick, the team came in. And there is the Community Service Award, the Ron Burton Award, being presented by Robert Kraft to Zoltan Meska, who was born in Romania. Steve Burton. Matt
Light on hand, recently retired tackle.
Taking his talents to the broadcasting booth. Steve Burton was there, and Hernandez, I talked to him today. He said he seems to get faster. He said, well, he's been with the strength program of the Patriots. He's gained weight. He's at 242, but he hasn't lost any speed. Steve Burton.
Yes, I was there for that award, and you know what? It's always a special award, especially to our family. But Zoltan Meska was the 10th player in franchise history to win that award, and we always try to anticipate who's going to win it. And think about this: Meska's been on the team for only 3 years, and he's done more. Robert Kraft said he's done more for the community as a player in 3 years than almost anyone else. So it's a well-deserved award for him. He's given so much. And a lot of these Patriot players give back to the community, and they do it in such a private way that you don't know a whole lot about it. But the Ron Burton Community Service Award went to Zoltan Meska this year, and it meant a lot to him, and it means a lot to our family as well.
Well, it should. It's a great award, named after your dad, who was a standout for the Patriots. Right now, Mallett hands off on a first down carry out to the 37-yard line as the clock winds down to the 2-minute warning in the first half. Brandon Bolden gets the last carry. 2 minutes to play at MetLife Stadium. Time report. We'll have a look at a new addition in Foxborough. Plus, we'll have first half highlights and an interview with Coach Belichick. That's all on the NRG halftime report.
And that's an old addition in New York, the George Washington Bridge.
Yeah. Meadowlands, located a short drive. I think it's about 6 miles from here to New York City or less. The average speed in the GW about 6 miles an hour. A lot of traffic heads over there to Route 95. Right now, Mallett pump faking, but he's caught and swept under. Matt Broha makes the stop. Talking about the evaluation, we'll get to that in a second. If we take a look now, Randy, to replay.
Well, there's not much for Ryan Mallett to do or where to go with that ball. Now he could just sort of dump it off into the flat short of Holly, and maybe that's what he should have done, but Broha was right on top of him immediately.
Careers hang in the balance tonight. These players, a lot of them will be cut on Friday. Now the open field for Brandon Bolden. Bill Belichick told us that in the evaluation process, one of the things you look at is not only where a player is at, but also
timeout, New York.
Has he leveled off, or is he consistently improving?
Yeah, and you know, look at a player like Bolden. Bolden muffed that punt that Demps managed to catch, or managed to recover the fumble. But then again, he's got 15 carries for what, 59 yards? I mean, he's had a heck of a first half. He's really been featured as the runner. Mallett right now 7 of 12 for 50 yards, doing a pretty good job. We'll see how Hoyer can do it in the second half. And Belichick and his staff have got these important dates. Well, one important date they won't talk about publicly, which is the Super Bowl at the bottom. But by the 31st, got to cut down to 53 players. The next day, you can get your practice squad signed and done. Those are guys that have already cleared waivers, or you may have cut in the past, or somebody has cut.
Last year when the Patriots get down to 53, or the guys that they had to let go, a lot of them were claimed. Bill Belichick says there's a lot of good players. You can't keep all of them. Mesco left foots the ball down to the 10-yard line.
It's going to be a first down. It's going to be 5 yards for running into the kicker.
Returned by Reuben Randall, rookie from LSU.
So that'll put the offense back on the field. About 58 seconds to go. And all 3 timeouts for the Pats.
Running into the kicker. Defense. It's a 5-yard penalty. First down.
And
number 33.
They got their money's worth, the Giants did, because it's not like one guy just bumped into them.
They got him.
You got a few guys surrounding him, but they're specifically going to pin that one on Darrell Scott.
A running back on the punt return team. And so the Patriots got a first down with 58 seconds to play in the first half. New England with a 3-0 lead on a 20-yard field goal in the second quarter by Gostowski, who hit 28 of 33 last season. Mallett throws a fastball. Holly reaches an arm up. That's living dangerously right in the teeth of the secondary. A swinging, tackling dummy out there.
Got to wonder if that ball got tipped a little bit, because it sure seemed to wobble and almost want to turn over. But no, it just came out of the hand of Brian Mallett, kind of funny and a little bit high. But regular season, you'd see most of the receivers, especially a guy on this team, go for that pass.
Jeff Demps, those 2 great Patriots. Woolfolk on the left, Brady on the right. You guys have been to Pro Bowls a lot of times.
Pro Bowls, Super Bowls.
The Super Bowls is.
Clock operator, please put 49 seconds on the clock.
What do you think that conversation's about, Randy?
I'm not even going to try to guess, but
it's animated.
Yeah, it's very animated.
Timeout, New England. That's their second timeout of the half.
Well, we saw Brady beat Gronkowski.
30-second timeout.
I'm sure he doesn't want to go one-on-one, try to block Woolfolk. You're invited tomorrow night to Level 1 at CBS Scene for the Patriots Cheerleader Calendar launch. It's a party, and the event is open to the public and begins at 7:30. Come on down and meet the entire 2012 Patriot cheerleader squad.
Some of those cheerleaders just got back from China, didn't they?
Right, they did, yeah. Where the Patriots are the most popular football team.
At CBS Scene, that's a couple of floors. A few bars on each floor. A lot of food on each floor.
It's all good. The CBS Scene right now, 49 seconds to play in the first half. Mallett has worked the whole first half for New England. Third down, he needs 6 on this throw. He gets it.
Nope.
No, he loses. The receiver had it, and Holly lost it on his way down. Both hands on the ball and lost it.
Timeout, New England. Second timeout of the half. That's a 30-second timeout.
So the Patriots call a timeout. Ryan Mallett has begun to make a move up the competition to back up Tom Brady competition. Lately he seems more at ease, more confident in the pocket. He is all the attributes to be very good.
Yeah, he needs a little help from the receivers, and he's got to be a little bit better I would think, if he's going to be thought of as a viable replacement for Tom, because 50% is not going to cut it. Right at 50%. In this league, you've got to be north of 65% completion-wise.
Well, it's widely believed you cannot win big with a quarterback under 60%. And last year, Breeze of New Orleans was over 70% completions.
So why'd the Jets trade for a 45% thrower from the Denver Broncos, Tebow?
Well,
Riddle me that one.
I guess because he's had a winning record everywhere he's ever been, including the NFL. He's 7-5 as a starter. Here's a kick hit downfield to Ruben Randall. But it's going to be interesting. The Jets in the preseason have not scored a touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, the Jets are one of the best things that's ever happened to the New York Giants and their players and organization, because they suck a lot of the air out of the room in this city, PR-wise, and the Giants just go about their business and win championships.
It's true. Fresh Taste, Fresh Face is brought to you by Subway, the official training restaurant of the New England Patriots. And the Fresh Face is number 37, Alfonso Dennard, rookie from Nebraska, cornerback.
A little different receiver, come out of Bo Pelini's defense at Nebraska. A little bit bigger in the lower part of his body, more of a safety body and a cornerback player.
Here's Carr now. Underneath to Ramses Barden, who breaks it across the 25-yard line and out to the 26 with 28 seconds to play, and the clock stopped.
And that's Ramses Barden, who was being covered
Timeout
by Alfonso Dennard.
Second timeout of the half. It's a 30-second timeout.
Coming at halftime, the NRG halftime report. Highlights and talk with Coach Bill Belichick.
Must be a long talk with Coach Belichick, because there can't be that many highlights.
That's right.
I'd say, unless you really like to see balls being punted.
I'd say these guys can unload. Punting averages are what they were in the regular season for both Weatherford and Zoltan Mesko. Phenomenal last year. Both great directional punters. Coverage set up that way. Winning your division, the number one objective of every NFL team. Last season, the Patriots went 5-1 in the AFC East.
Watch out for the jump ball bottom of the screen here to Ramses Barden.
Another check down. Rumbling down the sideline is Andre Brown. 6 foot, 230-pound running back. Bobby Carpenter gets him out of bounds.
Well, the Patriots get a little pressure because they don't want him comfortable to throw the ball down the field. Cunningham's getting himself doubled. Scott coming from the other side, but David Carr does a very good job of buying a little time and then flicking it out to his running back.
Big rush. Off the edge. Coming hard was Trevor Scott. One of the guys the Patriots used with the Raiders last season.
New York. That's their final timeout of the half. 30-second timeout.
Number 99 putting the heat on.
He's another example. If you want to watch a pass rusher, he looks leaner, he looks faster, and watch him come around this corner. He looks like a defensive back blitzing. I mean, they barely even touch him coming around the corner. That's a perfect angle. Nice little celebration.
He beat the tackle, Matt McCants, rookie from UAB. So,
well, McCants can say he touched him. Right. He didn't necessarily block him, but he touched him.
He waved him on by. As Patricia has to be pleased with a lot of the defensive stops, though. Nobody's gone anywhere really in this game.
There's 13 seconds left. There's no timeouts. The ball on the 31. You got to think, if you're even anywhere near Tynes' range, you've got to get the ball about 30 yards down the field, to about the 37-yard line.
Giants out of timeouts. Got to be a sideline pattern, you would think. Swing pass, heading for the sideline. And out to the 49-yard line is Dante Hughes, number 33. Rossai Dowling gets him out of bounds. 2 seconds left.
Well, this is pretty simple.
Clock operator, please put 4 seconds on the clock. 4 seconds.
So there'll be 6 seconds. Probable this is the last play of the half.
Yeah, the 4 seconds, the extra 2 seconds they put on the clock to make a total of 4. I'm not sure if the ball may not be in the air at least that long here when Carr throws this thing down the field.
It was 2, they said 4, but
nope.
That'll do it for the first half of play as Jermaine Cunningham again gets through and makes the stop. Good half by Cunningham. 3-0 lead for the Patriots over the New York Giants. Now stay tuned for Steve Burton and the NRG halftime report. That's coming up after these messages. It's the Whitestone Bridge. We saw the George Washington Bridge earlier. There are more. The Brooklyn Bridge. I bought that when I came to New York.
Glad you brought all these tokens with you for all these bridges.
We did indeed. So that is the first half story. Guys are playing their hearts out. As we know, it's who will stay and who will go. A cut-down date is looming. And right now, playing careers hang in the balance in the second half. And as you mentioned at the outset, Randy, there's probably 15 spots on the Patriots undecided.
Yeah, in that competition, players cut players. Coaches don't cut players. So you'll see in these last 30 minutes, get out your roster, go on the computer, print out a roster, and start doing these cuts. And it's not hard to figure out who are the guys that are on sort of the bubbles at all these positions, and they're the ones that better be making tackles on defense, better be making tackles on special teams, and it better have an impact on the offensive side.
Well, when we talked to Ron Brace this morning, he had an interesting observation. He said even when you make a cut, you're still with the team. There's a little bit of a heartbreak for when you see a lot of teammates that didn't and are leaving. But such is the way of any pro team. Right now, the kickoff, and the Giants. Jernigan runs it back, comes out fast, and gets out to the 20. Let's go back to Steve Burton. Steve?
All right, thank you very much for joining me now. It's head coach Bill Belichick. And you know what, Coach? There's always a thing called effort out here, and you're seeing that from guys like Demps. What has he done so far, and what makes him impress you?
Well, I think we got a lot of guys working hard. They're trying hard, and we're making some plays out there. And obviously a low-scoring game. Hopefully we can get a few points on the board here in the second half.
I mentioned Demps. I want to bring up Jermaine Cunningham as well because he had himself a pretty good first half.
Again, I think defensively we played pretty solid all the way through, on all three phases, on the line, linebacker, and secondary. And, we just got to keep, try to put 60 minutes together here.
All right, Coach, good luck to you second half.
All right, thanks, Steve. Okay.
Coach Belichick, our guest. Let's go back upstairs, guys.
I think Bill Belichick really summed up what preseason play is. He said you put him out there, let him play, and see what happens.
And the scary thing as a coach, this is going to be some uncharted area for this staff. They're going into the regular season start without having really seen in live reps their starting offense to speak of.
There is one of the better runs of the night. Off tackle slant. Kudavides comes up and makes the stop.
Patriots had themselves 3 sacks. That was a difference maker. A little surprised by this. The Giants, the key for their playoff run, they were the worst running team in the league. But, boy, once those playoffs started, they learned how to run the ball again.
Andre Brown gets the last carry, and he gets the next one. And Andre Brown looking good as he takes it straight ahead, a power back. Fighting for his professional life, a third-year big back out of North Carolina State, number 35.
A draft pick who was cut last year by the Giants, brought back onto the team. And that's what he has to do well. He's, without a Brandon Jacobs here, if you're the New England Patriots defense and you see Brown, you got to think you're going to see a lot of pounding between the tackles.
That's another story about NFL careers, how many times guys have to keep coming back. Who comes back more than the Ventrones? Gotta take your hat up to those guys.
Oh, it's the best. Those are the guys that won't quit, that won't take no for an answer. And here's Brown getting another chance, following a nice lead block, and Patriots defense slow to react in some spots, and in others being just flat blocked.
16-yard gain. David Carr, three-step drop, fastball, terrific catch inside the 35-yard line. Ramses Barden. Comes from a long-name college, Cal Poly, San Luis Obispo.
Yeah, you've got to think. You're Razai Dowling. You're right there, but you're trying to guard a 6'6" receiver who you're trying to go through, and he's reaching back around you. You're 6'6" and got arms like a 7-foot basketball player.
That was a terrific catch. Again, they go to Andre Brown. Two full purpose of guys being focus points of a whole half of play, or certainly a quarter like Andre Brown is right now. They want to see what he can do, and they also showcasing him.
Well, we saw earlier in the first half, Bolden for the Patriots get 15 carries for 59 yards and 3 catches for 16 yards. So if the first half belonged to Bolden, right now early on, the second half's belonging to Andre Brown.
He's carried 5 times for 39 yards, Andre Brown, in this drive. Far from done as he's inside the 30 down to the 27-yard line. Mike Rivera on the stop for the Patriots.
Football's all about, well, really it's all about angles. And if you're coming at a runner, you got to have the right angle as a DB. Look at Ebner, 43. He fills on the outside. And running back like Brown will see the safety fill into the outside, and he goes to the path of least resistance inside.
Well, there's not a lot of paths of least resistance out there, but when you go inside it, they're really hammering. Power football. Giants drive the ball to the Patriot defense down to the 23-yard line. Myron Pryor in his 4th year from Kentucky. Myron making a comeback. He was an IR last season, 97.
Yeah, in this 4th preseason game, you usually see the style of football that warms sort of the older demographic's heart, because you grew up, the old smash mouth football in the NFC East where Bill Belichick was with Parcells, and the AFC pounding kind of teams in the AFC Central. And right now this is a passing league, and games like this are the only times you get to really see the run featured on a regular basis.
No question. It is a pass-first league. Patriots in the regular season last year, 54% passes on first down. Nico Kudavides, 9th-year linebacker from Purdue, getting looked at by the medical staff.
Tonight he's got 8 tackles, 4 just on this drive, as the Giants have featured Andre Brown just blasting that ball right at the Patriots.
They're coming out with power football. Expect more right now on 3rd and short. And again, it is Andre Brown, who is averaging 5+ yards a carry on 10 carries tonight. Jeff Tarpinian makes the stop. Here's another tweet for you, Randy.
All right. Which defensive rookie on the Patriots roster is going to make a major impact this season? I'm going to go with either Hightower or Chandler Jones. I'm very intrigued by what Chandler Jones is going to be able to bring, but that rookie wall by midseason will get him.
Andre Brown getting more yardage as he's inside the 20 on a first down carry. Got about 3 before he was tackled by Rivera. Explain that now. Of course, the college season is 12 games in a bowl game if you're good enough, which most of them are because there's so many bowls. But NFL is 16 games. 4 preseason games.
Yeah, and you're a creature of habit. So you have 4 preseason games. By the time you play your 9th regular season game, you're just a little past halfway. And if you're a rookie, your body's ready to shut down. And in some cases, it does shut down.
Everything you got on every snap, no matter what your position is. Here's Barden over the middle. A nicely triggered ball, measuring his throw. David Carr, Tarpinian's on the tackle. In the first round of the draft, the Patriots used the 21st overall selection on Chandler Jones of Syracuse. 3 years in school, Jones started 28 games. As a junior last season, he had 4.5 sacks in 7 games to earn first-team All-Big East honors. When that opener against New Orleans, he lit it up. Carr Makes a connection. There's a penalty marker down in the backfield. Patriots putting the heat on David Carr where they held.
Well, Matt McCants had to almost tackle Jermaine Cunningham.
Holding. 71 offense. 10-yard penalty. Replay third down.
Matt McCants is the guilty party, Randy, correct.
Working on the right tackle position, trying to go against Jermaine Cunningham. There's Cunningham, 96. He flashes by him, and McCants tries to grab him as he goes by, and it's right in front of the referee.
So a loss on the play now with penalty assessed. It's third down. Need 14. Screen pass, well executed. Again, it's Andre Brown lugging the ball down close to the 15-yard line. Third down and about 6.
Yeah, it was a great recognition by Dederick, number 71. Comes upfield about 1.5 yards. Read screen, flattened out. And he was the first one in on this tackle. So watch Dederick right here and how he reacts. See, he's right there. He says, oh, that's a screen. I never get by that easy. He comes all the way back, and he makes the tackle.
Man, live, that's fast. Brandon Dederick. Other Alabama players, third year from Bama. Lawrence Tynes hits the 34-yard field goal, and the game is tied at 3-all. For the younger generation of Patriot fans, Totally Patriots kicks off on Saturday, September 8th on MyTV 38 at 10 a.m. It's the only program where students have a chance to talk directly to the Patriots. If you're outside the Boston area, check your local listings for the time and channel for Totally Patriots. Full of Patriot fans, more than a couple here. Before the Patriots, the greater Boston area was a hotbed for Giant fans all through Connecticut. Then came the Patriots in allegiance to their own team. Now the kickoff by Tynes, a sidewinder, is whacked into the end zone and out of it. It's like they got helium in the balls where they're kicking them.
Yeah, we talk all the time about the staffs and how valuable the coaching can be, but sometimes the coaching comes from unexpected sources. And here you've got some Dederick, who's been around for a couple of years, and Francis, the rookie out of Rutgers. Looks like he's talking a little hand fighting and a little pass rush technique with him.
I tell you, they like Justin Francis. Rookie from Rutgers, indeed, 270-pounder. Here's Hoyer now in to quarterback the Patriots.
I like Francis because he can play inside and outside on that D-line.
Again, basic straight-ahead football. Jeff Demps gets the call.
Now Malcolm Williams, 41, is going to come into your screen. There is a D cleater. Now, the great tackle you saw Sergio Brown make, a block like that is just as impressive to a coaching staff as that tackle was.
Malcolm Williams, the guy who delivered at 41 for New England. Swing pass. Jeff Demps. The final phase of preseason football. The last chances to make another impression.
We're going to cut down is the 31st. It's Friday. We talked a little bit about Mallett and the competition with Hoyer. There's his results for the night. Hoyer can still improve his as to who's going to really be sitting behind Tom Brady.
That's going to be interesting. Right now they go to a pitch. Final preseason showcase for these NFL hopefuls to state their case. Jeff Demps getting a lot of work, and Tom Brady in conversation with Hernandez. Rewarded for his good work with a long-term contract by New England.
I'm guessing it's a different conversation than he had with Vince Wilfork.
Guys on the sideline taking those mental reps, huh? They talk about.
That's right.
Hoyer sacked. Coming hard for the Giants. Greg Jones, who was a first-team All-American twice at Michigan State. Wasn't drafted till the 4th round. He made that play, 53.
And Derek Dennis inside, playing at guard, got beat.
Screen pass, set up. Demps. Giants with good pursuit. Coming across to get him was Dante Hughes.
Man, another really nice play by Mark Herzlich coming from the inside of that Giants defense out to get a very fast Jeff Demps.
Solidifying the offensive line, a major focal point for the Patriots tonight. So right now they're ready to punt again. Zoltan Mesko standing back at his 14-yard line.
Well, is it 7 or 8 linemen for the Pats in 2012? Or is it 2 or 3 quarterbacks?
We're going to find out soon. Ruben Randall. Was that a block from behind? It was. It's coming back. Penalty call against the Giants.
It was Nate Ebner that got whacked from the side. It looked like 54-yard punt, 12-yard return. And just remember, when you're blocking, you're watching your team blocking on a punt return, it's not so much as he hitting him in the back, is his head in front of the numbers.
During the return, illegal block in the back, number 18 of the return team. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
Isaiah Standback, 18, call for the illegal block.
Watch Standback's head. Is it front or is it back? It's in back. If you can get your head in front of that 3 on the 43 of Ebner, it's not a penalty. But you just can't get there quick enough, and it costs your team 10 yards.
The new-look Patriots offensive line has had their struggles during the preseason, especially in pass protection. In the first 3 games, they allowed 5 sacks to go along with numerous instances where quarterbacks have been under pressure. Tonight, some heat put on.
There's Greg Jones getting through relatively clean for that last sack, and there's been a theme in these 4 preseason games.
Tom Brady stepped up, though, and said, quarterbacks get sacked. It's usually the quarterback's fault more than the blockers. You got to get rid of it fast. .450 to play in the 3rd quarter.
Neutral zone infraction. Unabated to the quarterback. 94 of the defense. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Marcus Harrison called for the foul.
Here's that old line meeting with, I think, the best offensive line coach in the business, Dante Scarnecchia, trying to figure out what they're looking at, what this protection scheme should be.
First and 5. Again, straight ahead power running, this time by Darrell Scott of the Giants. He is a 2nd-year runner from Maryland. Mike Rivera makes another stop for the Patriots.
There's Dante again. The coaching really doesn't stop, especially on the sidelines. You get all those different looks, and especially when you're getting a different look from a linebacker like Greg Jones just gave him. Coming up, faking they're going to blitz, turning around, then blitzing behind it.
Del Rey scout runs. Can you imagine, Randy, what Jake Locker will be making his first start if they stay with him when the Patriots open at Nashville against Tennessee? The different looks he'll be seeing.
Oh, he'll see some different looks out of the Patriots defense. Disguises, blitz, non-blitz. His head will be spinning sometime in the 1st quarter.
Like when the Steelers played Indianapolis, I mean, LeBeau threw everything he had at Andrew Luck. It's like it was a regular season game. Luck responded. It was Dennard who knocked the ball down on that play for the Patriots defense.
I had a great conversation with Bill Polian a couple weeks ago. He was talking about quarterbacks. He really thinks quarterbacks have to play right around 4 to 5 years in the league before they really know what they're doing.
Really?
Yeah.
4 to 5 years?
Yep.
Brady on that fast learning curve. His first year he started when he went in for Bledsoe. Quarterback a Super Bowl win.
Yeah, but that was his second year in the league.
Yes.
So the point is, how does a guy know what he's seen? Sort of like a linebacker. You know what the formation looks like, but what are you really going to see? Where's the lead blocker? Where's the opening going to be? You know where the guy outside of you has a responsibility to turn that run in. You got to be there when that run gets turned in.
And all this talk about, are they playing in 3-4 or 4-3? But they're always sending 4 pass rushers at least. I mean, just coming from different angles off the edge. Here's a good throw. Drilled to Adrian Robinson, a rookie tight end from Cincinnati, 4th round draft choice. Sterling Moore was on the tackle for New England.
Seen an awful lot of these young DBs. Ebner's back there at safety all night long. Tavon Wilson's been in there at the other safety. Razai Dowling is still out there at left corner at the top of the screen. Alfonso Denard, who we featured early, is at right corner.
Another power run by Delray Scott. A lot of history between these two teams, both as rivals and both as allies. Robert Kraft and John Mara were 2 of the point men in the owners committee and getting the thing settled last year when
Personal
it looked
foul.
like
Face mask. 71 of the offense. It's a 15-yard penalty. Replay first down.
Giants are set back.
A face mask on an offensive tackle. Is that kind of like hands to the face?
I think it is. That would have been the last year. People have forgotten how serious that was. I was talking to Robert Kraft and John Marin. I said, when did you ever think it was going to all break down altogether? And they both started laughing. They said it was breaking down every meeting. The negotiations.
Got some more negotiations going on now with the officials.
David Carr, rifling a fastball. Coming off the flank was Jernigan. Can't hold it. Jarrell Jernigan, second-year receiver from Troy. Mike Rivera getting back in coverage.
Yeah, this front for the Patriots, these young guys are doing a pretty nice job of getting some heat on David Carr, getting their hands up, getting in his throwing zones, getting in his throwing lanes.
Right at your football, downhill running. Rivera involved in a lot of plays tonight. He is a first-year player from Kansas. 255-pound backer, 47. Delray Scott runs again this time. As the minutes tick by, the preseason concludes the final phase. And then the big news on Friday, who's on the 53-man roster?
You got Francis now at right end. Jermaine Cunningham is inside at right defensive tackle. Jake Beckett at end at the top of the screen, coming after David Carr from the onside.
Carr stepping up. He's mobile. Beautiful work by Carr. Against all odds, he gets the ball away to Gerald Jernigan, and he's down to the 40-yard line. And the Patriots, they'll spot it at the 42. So a broken play and a big gain, 25 yards.
You know, after a play like that, you see how tired the defensive linemen look, but you know what? That's their own fault. They've got David Carr. They're pass rushing him. They've almost got him dead to rights. They let him out of that pocket. He buys the extra time with his feet. Watch the initial reaction. Rush from the outside, rush from the inside. Suddenly he escapes that pocket. Carpenter does a nice job of getting a shot on him, but it's too late.
One of the biggest gainers, Randy, tonight, that 25-yard gain, and now the Patriots shoot the gap. Rivera making plays.
Yeah, and Jeff Tarpinian here, 53. You got a face full of Tarpinian and a face full of Brown.
And that's going to do it for 3/4 of play. The score, the Patriots 3.
That's the end of the third quarter.
The Giants 3. We'll be back with more on the Patriots preseason television network. But first, these messages. each week for the most lively and topical Patriots talk on Patriots This Week. Friday nights at 9:30 on Comcast Sports New England. Zolak, Jermaine Wiggins, and Matt Chatham debate the top stories each and every week. That's on Patriots This Week. Patriots this night, now 15 minutes in the conclusion of their preseason, as are the Giants. When straight ahead football, they're certainly not exposing much of the playbook, are they, Randy?
No, they're not, but it's, we talk about how do you make a football team, and if you're trying to make Tom Coughlin's and you're a lineman, you're just going to bulldoze people and block like this. And if you want to impress, Matt Patricia and Bill Belichick, you're going to square up these big offensive linemen and come off and stuff some of these runs, but they're not getting a whole lot of stuffing going on.
Here's third down now. David Carr and the Giants need 5 yards.
It's the 11th play of the drive.
Stepping up. He goes down. This will be fourth down. Line of scrimmage the 37.
That's just a loss of 1. That isn't Jermaine Cunningham's third sack.
Like a 52-yard field goal from here. Justin Francis making news, 68. He is a player, free agent from Rutgers. And he makes the play, and so now fourth down comes up. And the place kicker, Lawrence Tynes, is out. Where they're going to spot the ball, it's going to be 54 yards. Which is very much in range for kickers like Tynes and his counterpart with the Patriots, Stephen Gostkowski. Now Weatherford is going to come out to try the longer field goal. No, it's Tynes out there. Weatherford and Tynes both on the field.
Yeah, a little confusion there too from the Patriots standpoint. Rookie Jake Beckett was trying to come screaming off the field. It wasn't going to beat the play clock.
New England called timeout prior to the penalty being called. Timeout in New England. That's their first timeout of the half.
So Weatherford will hold. Hines will try. There's Jake Beckett, third-round draft choice from Arkansas. Guy who had 23 sacks in the SEC for the Razorbacks. Away for a moment. Weatherford, who was to be the holder for Tynes, he stays on the field. Tynes goes off, and the Giants looking to play field goal position now as they'll punt the ball.
What a beautiful shot of the moon. Just can't see that on a week like this and not recognize Neil Armstrong, the first man to step on the moon, passed away this week.
People said you'd never met a more humble man, Neil Armstrong.
Yeah, imagine where computers were back then. He was doing the math on a notepad strapped to his leg.
Another great astronaut, John Glenn. You know who he picked as his wingman because he thought he was the best pilot he ever saw? Ted Williams.
I knew he was good in a tight spot. Didn't know he was good in that tight of spot.
How many home runs would he hit if he didn't give away in the service of his country to 4.5 years? High spinning kick by Weatherford, a directional punt, beautifully done. Jeremy Ebert, rookie receiver returner from Northwestern, fair catches the ball at the 6. So while the moon beams, we take a break and we'll be back to the Meadowlands shortly. Looking forward to this year for the Patriots.
Yeah, for me, it's pretty simple. I'm going to stay in the division. I want to see how much better the Buffalo Bills have gotten. With Mario Williams, offensively, can they keep Fitzpatrick upright and healthy an entire year? If they've gotten a lot better, that to me is clearly the second best team in the AFC East.
And you have to, I would say second best because when you look at the most important position on the field, Patriots are a runaway leader in that with Tom Brady. Right now, Giants putting the heat on.
And there is nothing there because the defense, look how square those defensive linemen are. The Patriot linemen don't crease that defense. Every single guy in a white jersey is being turned, and every single blue jersey just keeps those bodies, those hands on the blockers.
Throw in the flat. Catch is made. 11-yard line. Now looking ahead to the AFC East, last year the Patriots were 5-1 and won the AFC East for the 8th time in the last 9 years. Of course, winning the division assures you a spot in the playoffs. Buffalo is widely acknowledged to be the most improved team. Miami going with a rookie quarterback. The team that they split with was the Bills. Beat Miami twice, beat the Jets twice, and there's consternation over where the Jets are at, Randy. As you
Miami looks like they're worried about 2013. They're trying to stockpile picks in the draft this coming year by some of the bodies they've traded, getting rid of Avonte Davis. You know, when you've got teams like the Patriots and the Jets on your schedule and the Bills, doesn't make much sense to me. The New York Jets from the beginning of this offseason have been on self-destruct. You know, they bring in Tebow, who's basically a gimmick. He's a fullback with a 45% completion percentage until he learns really how to play quarterback. And it's completely disrupted their offense and their football team.
Well, it certainly get a lot of attention. It's unbelievable the attention given to Tebow. He doesn't ask for it. I mean, it's just there. I mean, it's incredible. Tebow watches and all the local media.
Well, kid wins. You cannot argue with that. But also you can't really figure it out. So like you said, for the Jets, it's Tebow, Tebow, Tebow all the time. And where is the offense? No touchdowns. Haven't had much execution. They shipped out Wayne Hunter, traded him for Justin Smith, which is I'm going to cut this guy, you're going to cut that guy, let's trade him and then release him.
Justin Smith was the number 2 pick in the entire draft as an offensive tackle.
Soft, and softer as an offensive tackle is not a good thing. Yeah, but Tebow with this offense, and what confounds a lot of people is when he does stuff like this. That long run, he got himself a first down, he fires up the crowd, he fires up his team, and then he'll throw a pass that, all you see are the ground-up tire, the black flecks flying in the air because he hits the ground so hard.
250 pounds. Oh, man, what a lick pass there, but still the receiver hangs on. Beautifully done by Kerry Taylor, just picked up. Well, Tebow, Dan Henning, who's been a coach of this area, very good NFL offensive coordinator, he came out, a lot of people didn't pay attention to it, but he was in Florida when Sbrana put in the Wildcat. He said Tebow is a red zone weapon for the Jets. That's where they're going to use him. He's a run and pass threat in the red zone. And that's the game plan. They haven't unleashed all the things they're going to do with him. But Sanchez is going to be the starter, and if the drive stalls, Tebow's going to go in.
Offense, number 71, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Yeah, I mean, you look at that whole idea of the Wildcat, the Patriots might be the only team in the division that doesn't run it this coming season. Miami, you can't say that they won't try just about anything. Buffalo just got Tavares Jackson from Seattle, cut Vince Young, so he may be that kind of quarterback for them. You know that the Jets are going to do it and spring it on Bill Belichick and company.
You know who has a tremendous team in the AFC? No matter what you've seen in the preseason, the New England Patriots. They're the best again. This is a great football. It's a great organization. When you got a coach, a quarterback, and an owner who are all headed to the Pro Football Hall of Fame someday, that's a good series of building blocks. They're good every year.
And these kind of teams with a guy like Brady and a coach like Belichick, they're built to win this division. And the Dolphins are a team with new coach. Philbin's there. We're going to start a rookie quarterback in Ryan Tannehill, but they've got one heck of a defense, and this Patriot team has seen that defense the last couple of years, and they are a tough physical team that will get their pound of flesh from you on a Sunday.
Well, you make projections, everybody does. Patriots win the division again. I mean, what they've done, the bar set so high, the Patriots have won 10 or more games, 9 straight seasons. No team in the history of the NFL has done that other than them. Which is good every year. There's nothing's left to chance. Everything's thought out, planned out. And like Tom Brady says, no one on the outside realized the pressure there is here to win and to perform. And he said it's the same for the coaches. And with all the pressure, guys like playing here.
Yeah, they do. And what it really makes it so special and hard for all these teams we're talking about in the division to overcome is the combination of Brady and Belichick. You know, that you just can't break it. And even the 1 year that they weren't together for a whole year, the Patriots still won 11 games. No, they won 11 games and didn't make the playoffs.
Yeah, that's a rarity, but it does happen a few times. Ruben Randall's back now, anticipating the punt. High arcing punt. Beautifully hit directionally and out of bounds at the 6-yard line. These kickers in this game are only great. Zoltan Mesko.
For our Pepsi close-up, and Jeff Tarpanian is a guy we're keying on. He's had a big night so far. He's one of the reasons why the Giants only have 3 points on the board. Tarpanian's been all over the field. He's a great open field tackler and knows how to get to the football. And he does it time and time again. Randy Nunn, he's a Pepsi close-up player of the game.
He is indeed. Our Pepsi player close-up is brought to you by Pepsi, official soft drink of the New England Patriots.
And that's exactly the kind of player we were talking about coming in here, trying to win himself a job. If not impress these two teams, impress somebody in this league.
Ball's on the field.
Ball was stripped by Alfonso Denard. He pulled that ball out.
Looks like the Giants kept it. There, Pasco came up with it.
Yeah. Denard got that right hand on it and bopped that ball right out of there. And it turns into a dog pile, and the Giants end up back with the ball.
So now the Giants have 2nd down coming up and 15 at their 1-yard line.
You got a little ball. It looks so easy to just be able to bend over and pick up, and sometimes grown men just can't bring themselves to do it.
It draws a crowd, doesn't it? Here's a sidearm throw. Caught as easy. Real incomplete. It touched the ground. Probably a good thing for Pasco. He's tracking the end zone, it looked like. Jamesy Hedebo makes the play.
Yeah, he was actually, they started to tackle him. I'd challenge that if I was Coach Belichick.
He's got the red flag out. The red sock, whatever's the...
Because it looked like
back in.
The ball didn't hit the ground. I'd be surprised. It sure looked like the ball hit off of Pasco, and that enabled him to catch it.
Yeah. 3rd and 15 from the 1. 7.5 minutes to play. 7:33. Carr from his end zone against a 4-man rush. Patriots defenders knowing what they had to protect, keeping the ball in front of them. Adrian Robinson caught it. Mike Rivera with another stop for the Patriots. Special thanks also as we conclude our 4th preseason game to a tremendous production team from the New England Patriots preseason television network. Some of the very best in the business. The way the coverage of football has escalated with tape machines and Elvis machines that I don't know all the terms of this stuff, but they know how to use it tremendously. We thank them so very much. As with 6:48 left to play now, the ball is hit out of bounds. There's some of the guys, high-level professionals, and in the truck. 3-3 game. I think one thing we can be sure of, Randy, somehow, somewhere, it won't go to overtime. These preseason games tend not to go to overtime.
Never say never.
Well, that's true. These kids have got a lot of energy.
That one's not awake for much longer, though.
Demps looking for a place to go. No place to be found. Broha having a good game for the Giants. He's got 5 tackles and a sack. 1.5 sacks.
Jim's running right in the middle of the line. Dan Copen. He's got himself a couple Super Bowl rings. He's in there at center right now.
A good offensive from a lineman from BC. What else is new every year?
Yeah, and he's one of those guys trying to hold on to a job.
He's been an underrated player, Dan Copen. He's been one of the best centers in the NFL for a long time. 10 years. Fighting some injuries as the season wears on. Third down and 10 coming up. Brian Hoyer lets a long ball fly. What a catch that was. They ruled out of bounds. Jesse Holley working magic. Did he get the feet in? They say no.
One hand. Oh, he had it with two. He grabbed it with one. That foot's in. Oh, yep. That's second one.
It's a good call.
Just hit right on the line. That was very good. Remember, there's a time where they could call that one as a force out.
Absolutely. David Douglas is back. Fair catches the ball inside the 10-yard line. So with 5:57 left to go in the game and in the preseason, we have a penalty mark, or a challenge is coming out.
And the challenge flag went down before the snap was out there. Bill Belichick's trying to challenge, I believe, that play by Holley.
Well, he was right down there. He had a pretty good look at it, Bill Belichick.
And the key really is the second foot, because the first foot looks like it comes clearly down in bounds.
Tom Coughlin looks on. He'll be back in a moment.
Never mind. Difference on this catch by Jesse Holley, and I do mean catch. First foot in, second foot in. That was a catch, but Bill Belichick threw the flag too late, and the officials are just going to let this thing continue. They're not going to go ahead and review that.
Darrell Scott doesn't get much out to the 10-yard line, and the game clock winding on. Gives us a chance to thank Stacy James, the Vice President of Media Relations for the Patriots, and his staff of Aaron Salkin and Christy Berkery, Michael Giravati, Cicely Fienza, and Jeff Cornway. Fastball, it's live, incomplete. Penalty marker down at the 17-yard line.
Little defensive holding. It's going to be against the Pats.
Holding. 29 of the defense. 5-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
And while we have a moment, let's go back to Steve Burton.
All right, guys, thank you very much. I'm just thinking about final thoughts concerning this team as they go into the regular season. And a lot of the question marks have been surrounding this offensive line, but if there's one guy that's going to put this offensive line together, it's Dante Scarnecchia. There's no question about that. Here's a guy that's been with one NFL team, the Patriots, for almost 30 years, and that is unheard of in the coaching world. There's no question about that. He is just a genius when it comes to coaching, and that's why Bill Belichick has certainly had this guy around for such a long time. But Dante Scarnecchia, the offensive line, they'll get their acts together. And Jeff Demps, here's a guy with world-class speed, an Olympic sprinter. I think he's a touchdown waiting to happen, and I'm going to be very excited to see what this guy can do during the regular season. So, you know what? Those are my final thoughts, and I think the Patriots are going to do very, very well, even though this game is only 3-3. Guys?
Thank you, Steve. Great to be with you again, and we'll look forward to your always insightful and to the point commentary and coverage on WBZ.
Thank you, guys. Great working with you.
Thanks, Steve.
Famous call letters, WBZ. The handoff, and the run is out to the 22-yard line. Tarpinian with another tackle. You know, Randy, now we know that they have to get from 75 to 53. That's 22 players per team, 22 times 32. How do they get the news? Do they just put names up on a board and say...
Yeah, you usually get a phone call. You know, you don't go out of your way to answer your phone, but you know they'll find a way to find you to make that happen on Friday. Because they'll all come in and meet, and some will get the word tomorrow, and most of them will get the word Friday.
And even when you're cut, you have to take an exit physical, don't you?
Yeah.
Throw and a catch. Dan DePalma comes down with the ball with 4:15 left to play. Alfonso Dennard was on the stop. I tell you, these guys, there's a lot of guys you don't hear a lot about. These defense. That kid from Rutgers.
Francis?
Yeah.
Yeah, he can play. He can play. He doesn't quite have the ballast.
Here he is.
You know, that you would love to have, you know, at a defensive tackle.
David Carr.
That was a hold.
He's got wheels and he bails out just in time, but there is a penalty marker down in the backfield of the Giants.
Hey, that's going to be Jake Beckett was getting tackled.
Holding. Offense number 63. 10-yard penalty. Replay first down.
It's going to be against the left tackle working out here. Yeah, that was a little hold there, and there's another hold there on Beckett. So Rivera got held, and Beckett got held. So it's a positive when you're getting held. That means you're pressuring the other guy.
Another run, another big strike. That was Sergio Brown who had that exhilarating kickoff punt return hammer. He knocked the guy down as soon as he caught the ball. Tell you one thing, he's supposedly on the bubble.
Well, if he makes those kind of short tackles.
He won 2 college games with Notre Dame with goal line tackles. Stonewall guys when it looked like they're going in for a go-ahead score in the end. Here is a card swept under.
There's your guy Francis again out of Rutgers, getting himself a sack. With a coverage down the field. I mean, where are you going to go? Check this out.
Timeout, New England. That's a 30-second timeout.
I mean, you get that kind of pass rush, though, and you can generate that on this schedule the Patriots have. You know, it won't be David Carr middle of the season when Peyton Manning comes to Foxborough, and you better get some pressure on him now.
Correction, will go full timeout.
The Broncos won the AFC West last season, but are looking to take a step forward this year. To do that, they brought in a new quarterback, very familiar to the Patriots, Peyton Manning. The Patriots will take on the Broncos on October 7th at Gillette Stadium. In Boston, you'll see it on WBZ TV. On CBS at Gillette Stadium, October 7th. The Patriots talking to Bill Belichick saying we really don't know that much about our first 2 opponents. They're pretty new to our schedule, Tennessee and Arizona. Then to Baltimore, then to Buffalo. The Patriots play 3 of their first 4 on the road. But then in December, they play 3 of their last 4 at home.
And Patriots 12-7 against Peyton. And I'm sure Peyton's got to figure, you know, I play that team every time at their place. And I know they play some big games in Indianapolis too. But of those 19 games, it seems like about 12 of them have been at Foxborough.
They have. Carr loses the ball, almost a live ball. David Carr is a little slow getting up.
David Carr is lucky they didn't call intentional grounding.
And the ball went forward.
Well, he's got a running back right there that Francis is holding up, but clearly Dante Hughes was right there, so it wasn't intentional grounding. But all right, now here's Demps back, bold and short in a situation, 2:50 left. This is where you win a game like this. I know it's fourth preseason, but this is great learning experience.
Jeff Demps from the 19-yard line. Putting on moves out to the 36. 17-yard return as Zach Diassi, a former Ivy League Player of the Year out of Brown, made the tackle. Demps is shaken up.
A little slow to get up.
So Demps comes off. He'll be looked at.
Diassi again got all over that right leg of Demps as he was trying to go down.
Man, there's a live ball picked up. He loses the ball. Again, he got it back.
I mean, Alex Silvestro looked like he might have gotten that ball. But Marcus Thomas comes around that side and ends up with the ball. But watch 71. What a nice job. Another time tonight, we've seen Ojomo come around that corner with a tight corner, knock the ball out of Hoyer's hands. And Marcus Thomas wouldn't give it up once he got it.
Boy, that's the ultimate sack. Get the sack, a fumble, and a recovery. And a 3-3 game now has swung toward the Giants with 2:27 left to play. Ball to the 17-yard line of the Patriots.
That's the 5th sack allowed tonight.
Yeah, watch some of these backups, Randy. I don't know how you cut these guys. Bill Belichick says you can't keep them all, much as you'd like to. Round one, Hyde and Rivera, you would net another stop. He's got 12 tackles tonight. As we're winding down to the 2-minute warning.
Well, on the other side of that sort of great play in a fourth preseason game where you're trying to make a team, you know, a guy like Weems is playing at left tackle, you allow a few sacks and you're going to suddenly get people looking at you sideways when you get to
That's
that
a 2-minute
locker room after the game's over.
Line with Berge-Nigerian as the Patriots now with 2 minutes to play. Giants with the ball. 2nd down and 10 at the Patriot 18-yard line. Lawrence Tynes in his 9th year from Troy is the field goal man. He's made some big ones in his career.
Oh, just to win Super Bowls.
Yeah, right.
I mean, if you're a Giant fan, he's automatic. I mean, he's everything Adam Vinatieri was to Patriot fans.
Stay tuned after tonight's game for the Toyota post-game report, where we'll recap tonight's game. That's coming up on the Toyota post-game report. Right now on 2nd and 10, the Giants are ready to run the football and run the clock as much as they can with 2 minutes to play. Andre Brown is the lone back next to Carr. He's going to throw it. Why would you do that? Why would you throw when you got Alfonso Dennard knocks it down, and the rookie from Nebraska.
I guess because it's the 4th preseason game and you're still practicing your game plan. If you're Kevin Gilbride, the offensive coordinator, there's a couple more plays you want to get in you haven't seen.
Matt Patricia matching wits with Kevin Gilbride, the Patriot defensive coordinator in the red shirt.
You know, this Patriot team may not look familiar with some of the mistakes and the things that are being done, but you better get them early, because when they get past about the first month of the season, this is going to be a really good football team. You know, Don, I mean, timing is something they're going to have to hit on the fly. The starting team offensively hasn't been together much in the preseason. They'll take their reps against the Titans during that week. They're going to work. They're going to get better and better and better as the weeks go on. I think the defense is going to hit the ground maybe a little bit more comfortable than the offense, as strange as that sounds with Tom Brady in charge.
Just think, Randy, that you got Wes Welker, 122 catches to lead the NFL by a wide margin last year. Hasn't been on the field for a snap in the preseason.
Yeah, he'll go over 100 again.
Well, that's part and parcel to his game. He's had 111 or more receptions for the last 5 years, Wes Welker.
30-second timeout.
No team uses the middle of the field like the Patriots. Between the hashes, they got 3 guys that catch a ton of balls, almost 300 between them last year. And Gronkowski, Welker, and Hernandez. He's looking across the field, and Randy, your concluding thoughts on preseason 2012?
Yeah, I think defensively they've gotten to do just about everything they wanted to do. They've seen all their good young players. They've seen several young guys that are making bids to make this football team. That'll make the special teams better, and I think down the road can make their defense better. Offensively, the way the line's played and the way they've kind of been hit and miss as far as who's really got a chance to get reps, it's hard to say where the offense is. I mean, Tom may look great in 7-on-7, but he doesn't get to play 7-on-7 when it comes time out here. He's got to bring those 5 linemen with him.
I think we're looking at 2 tremendous teams. Again, well, they were the 2 best last year, went to the Super Bowl. Giants won it. 1:03 to play, and the Giants edge in front 6-3.
You know, and both times the Giants have won, they've done it sort of the 2000 or the 21st century way. They've made the playoffs.
Barely. 9-7 last year.
Yeah, they made the playoffs sort of on a roll and reinvented themselves during the playoffs. The Patriots, you know, you think about the 2 seasons that the Patriots played the Giants and lost in the Super Bowl. You know, you win, what, 33, 34 games between those 2 years? And you get second place?
Yeah.
But it just tells you it's not always about who has the best record. And the whole idea of home field advantage is nice, but it's not what it was. It really isn't what it was.
Well, Eli Manning, Randy, really kind of epitomizes the way the Giants do it. I mean, he's a lot of times a pretty ordinary quarterback in the regular season, and then comes money time, and he's a Super Bowl MVP twice. Like Brady, I mean, the Mannings, guys who really know how to weather success too.
Well, if you give Tom Brady a middle-of-the-league defense last year, they win in a laugher. But they didn't have, their defense could not stop people. Their best way to stop people was to hold them to field goals.
Well, I think, you know, Hightower, Chandler Jones, I mean, they've definitely upgraded their defense. Really, the Houston Texans were the first to go all draft choices in one area of the team. They made the playoffs for the first time. Patriots 7 draft choices, 6, the first 6 on the defensive side of the ball. Friday, August 31st, roster cut to 53 players.
And Saturday, the next day, pay close attention to who ends up on those practice squads. And get to know your rules, who's eligible to be a practice player.
That's a big thing. Not everybody's eligible. That's a good-looking throw and catch out to the 42-yard line with 50 seconds to play.
Nice job by Ebert. Hoyer getting a chance to run a real living, breathing 2-minute drill at the end of a game.
Patriots have one timeout left, trailing 6-3 with 41 seconds left to play.
Well, this is forever for a quarterback. You have 41 seconds. You have a timeout. You have the ball on the 42-yard line. You're looking at with the kicker you have with Gostkowski. I think you've got about, 20 yards. And you've got a very realistic chance at a 53-yarder or so with 20 yards from here.
Maybe we could have overtime.
Well, the previous play is under review.
Giants, they lead the season off with the Dallas Cowboys 1 week from tonight. Opening game of the NFL season 2012. Patriots go the following Sunday at Nashville against the Tennessee Titans, a big physical football team who have stated they're going to start a first-year quarterback. He's in his second year with the team, but he didn't play. He didn't start last year. Jake Locker.
It kind of amuses me when I read about teams and people say that, the Dallas Cowboys have the most pressure on them of any other team in the league. They've got to win now. You don't have more pressure than when you win a world championship. You don't have more pressure than when you go to a Super Bowl. I mean, it doesn't get worse than that. I don't care. You can create it in your mind. The media can hype it out the wazoo. But the reality is, when you've achieved at that high level, the biggest pressure is the kind that usually comes from yourself and your own expectations and what you expect. I mean, the Patriots don't expect to win less than 12 games. They don't expect anything less than going to the Super Bowl. The Giants are the same way.
New this year, the fans get to look at the review under the hood.
Even if it's just a spike. Okay, we'll bite.
Looked like a spike to us.
Were they set? Yes, they were set. It was spiked. I mean, the defense was onside. They weren't exactly in their stances saying, yeah, we're ready. But all hands were on deck.
Well, you said something earlier, Randy. It's certainly true. These replacement officials, in their quest to get it right, they are certainly, this 90-second stuff is nonsense. This is either 3, 4, 5 minutes.
Well, this has got to be an issue of where the ball is being spotted, how much time is on the clock.
Well, of course, the
coach is calling the charter, letting them know they're going to be there a little late.
On the previous play, the defense had 12 men on the field. That's a 5-yard penalty. From the previous spot, 42 will go to the 47. It will be 1st and 5 at the 47 on the snap.
Remember, that's inside of the 2 minutes, too, at the end of the game, end of the half, end of the game. So that observation came from up here in the replay booth.
Well, we know that coaches don't like overtimes in preseason. Maybe they'll flip a coin or arm wrestle. But it's looking more and more like the Pats are going to be in field goal range.
The bogey's at 35.
Check down. Well done to Catani. Striking blow. Man. Catani, a 13-yard gain on the play. Drilled hard by Jake Mosau. "21 seconds left, and we're a long way from done."
57-yarder from here. Patriots still have that one timeout left.
Long ball. Intercepted. Game set and match. The Giants will win the game 6-3. Laurent Scott with an over-the-shoulder interception.
Well, he hit him right in the hands.
Tell you, they got Laurent Scott on the wrong side of the ball. He looks like a receiver.
Problem was they were trying to throw that one to Holly. Holly sort of pulled up, and Hoyer threw that one like he expected him to be right there.
Defense. Momentum carried him in the end zone. It'll be 1st and 10 at the 1-yard line.
So this has got to be a handoff or a sneak, because he can't kneel down. He doesn't have enough fair territory to kneel on it. He'd have to kneel in the end zone.
Well, a offensive penalty in the end zone would be a safety. Subsequent free kick. Tackle in the end zone would be a safety. And the free kick. So the Patriots are, believe it or not, with 13 seconds left, they're still in the game. Down 3-0. Quarterback keep. He's not going to. That'll do it. Clock will run down and out. And so the Patriots and the Giants conclude preseason play with the Giants winning this game 6-3. We'll be coming back with the Toyota postgame show in a moment. Giants a field goal winner.